Yo, what's up guys? Going to be showing you a in-depth ward guide to do around mid and what kind of pressure the wards create and what they can bring for you and your team and how to play around them and what to fight over, what's not worth fighting over, etc, etc. Hopefully you guys can learn something new from this video. So in mid lane there are 4 entrances into mid. Here over on the map, you can see the black lines. There's 4 entrances into mid, right? So you want to cover those. Those are the 4 basic spots that you want to ward. You can have 2 wards out at a time, but in mid lane, as a mid laner, you want to have some type of ward around here and here for safety if you're playing back. So what a ward over here does is it stops a rotation from here and here and over here and around here. Okay, so this is what this ward does. It basically covers here, here, and here. All right, so that ward covers all of that. Now, what you want to do over here on this side is you want to have, and this ward of course covers here. Covers here and around here. So this whole thing, and something in here, this whole thing is pretty much covered by this ward, not as far out, but this ward stops the rotation from here and covers a flank over here, right? 2 entrances in over here. There's, give or take 2 entrances here. There's 1 here and here technically, so this ward gets value if anybody comes over here, right? Okay, so now the problem with these wards are, now you can only see a safety of this spot, this area right here, or if you have wards here. Okay, so now they only cover here. Now what you don't see is you don't know where the jungler is. He can be, if the jungler's here for example, if you don't have any deep vision on the map, if you have no deep vision, he can go anywhere around here and completely make a lot of pressure. You're coming to your team, you don't know where there's enemy missing, he's always missing on the map, right? So now, if we can get a ward around here, now this creates the pressure over here, right? So now you have a deeper ward, and you can try to, here, let's just go over here, make this easier. So, what a ward around here would do is it would cover here, here, and here, right? So now the problem is it doesn't cover this, but at least it covers the general rotation from a jungler to go to mid camps or to mid lane. So that's covered. It gives you more pressure. Also allows you as a mid laner to walk up from here to around here. Now, in theory though, you want to have a ward around here that covers the rotation from this way and this way, which a lot of junglers in SPL and ranked have been doing as a lot of flanking and staying away from the default ways to mid lane, right? So now I think a very good thing though is if you can get, and whether you or your jungler, you can get a ward back here. Now this is a very deep ward, you need a lot of pressure for this ward, but if you can get a ward here or even like on the corner for example, right? So if you can get a ward here, this is prime time. I mean, if you get into here from pressure from mid lane, you can get a ward here. This will basically cover this whole area. Okay, so now this whole thing is covered and you know exactly where this jungler is. Creates a lot of pressure on the map, and you have your dual lane for example that can play up, look for purple buff, red buff, oracles, gold fury, the alpha harpy, etc, etc. So, and also protects your solo laner if they're playing aggressive and stuff like that. So this ward's really important. I love this ward. This is a really good ward. Definitely need like help from your jungler or support. So you have this ward. We went over that ward over here and what that does up here. Even honestly, didn't go over a ward here, but if you can get a ward here, this is a pretty good one. It covers 3 paths technically if they need to play passive. covers this, and if the mid laner is coming from mid lane to back camps, you get that info that they'll be on back camps, right? Okay, so that covers this side of the map. Also, another default ward that you can do, ward right here, mid camps, covers this, right? You know what's going on here. You know that there's 2 people on this, mid laner and jungler, and then maybe somebody else walking in over here from solo lane here. They accidentally step in a wrong position, and it gives you the vision here as the mid laner so you can play safe, right? Okay, so that's that side of the map. It's a general consensus of it. Deep vision, always really important. This ward is the best ward from mid lane, in my opinion. Getting vision, covering all this stuff, really, really important. Really, really good. Hard to get, usually you need to walk in with your jungler or support. Sometimes you can walk in or you can walk in alone if you have a lot of pressure, depending on the mage you are playing, or hunter, for example, you're playing in mid lane. Get that deep vision, really, really good. Usually on the flip side though, if you have deep vision basically at their back camps, you want to try to at least have your safety covered over here on the duo side of the map, okay? So on the duo side of the map, covers this entrance. This is your default safety, covers in your 2 entrances. Now, same problem on the other side that this doesn't give is it doesn't give you any deep vision or any info. It just gives you a safety. So what basically people have been doing now is they're warding right here, which covers this path, this, and this. So it covers that dual lane rotation. The support or ADC coming in also covers the jungler coming in from 2 different paths, or support coming in from this path. So this is a really good ward, really, really easy to get off. It's in your safe jungle, you know where it is. Another decent one that usually the support wards is here on your X, is what everybody calls it. Basically covers in on the map right here. If your ward's there, it covers this path, this path, this path, and this path. So you get the 4, the X, for example. So this is a really good ward to get. It's a safe ward, but on the opposite side, getting aggro wards, getting vision here is really good. It's the X on this side of the map, covers in four angles, covers in a pathing from the red buff and back camps, covers from the purple buff, covers from here, covers if somebody came over here. It actually would cover around here, I believe, but yeah. So it would cover that. That's a really good ward to get. That's really important. Gives you a lot of pressure on the map and visibility, so your dual lane can play aggressive, not play aggressive, etc., etc. So now, if we are on the order side, this ward right here is important. Is actually it's okay. Get sentry'd a lot. Not the best ward you want. It's an okay ward if you have the pressure. Usually, actually, getting a ward right here, it's kind of like the sneaky ward, as people call it, but getting a ward here, it doesn't cover a lot, has a lot less vision, but having a ward right here stops the, usually people sentry around here. This is a sentry, and it won't catch this ward over here. So that's like a kind of safe ward. But if you have a lot of pressure and you're pressuring in a 3v3 and you have a lot of pressure in 3v3 and you're looking for red buffs, for example, right? Or just in general, like you want pressure on the map. This ward right here, oops. This ward right here, this ward is key. This ward is really, really good. Gives you the most info almost always. You get to see where a jungler's coming in from speed buff, where the mid laner's coming in to go do their back camps are going to the red buff, which gets you red buff timer, okay? And now, for example, also coming from back camps, you get all that info. Now, you have back camps timer now, you have red buff timer now, an all general like number or theory on it, right? So that's what a mid laner can do. Not really the mid laner's job, kind of risky going in there alone. So yeah, basically, you just want to get as much pressure and use your pressure to get wards out. Pressure wards really, really important. I would say for depending on the god you're playing and depending on the team and, you know, like feeling it out if they have a lot of pressure or not, or if you're like in a losing matchup or the jungler's in a losing matchup, it goes both ways. If you feel like you won't have pressure until like, let's say, I don't know, like 6 minutes in the game, this ward right here, not a bad ward to have. It doesn't give you info, but it gives you at least the mid-camp timer, and it covers the rotations coming in from 3 different ways. If junglers looks for a flank, fortunately it doesn't cover this, but at least you get mid-camp timer, and it gives you a bit of safety to go to your own back camps if the jungler's pressuring it. And now for over here, for example, you know, you're kind of winning it. I honestly would never ward here. This ward doesn't give you anything unless you're using your pre-12 ward, this right here. I wouldn't ward here unless it's like, oh, you're getting ganked. You need to put it over the wall just to see where they are if I can clear the mid wave, for example. So I would do over here. This ward's really, really important. This is, I think, a very, very good ward to have. You don't need to have any pressure to do it or anything at all. Get this ward out, covers everything, covers your safe path, good to go. You should have comms from your dual lane anyway to cover if they're coming under. Coming from like purple buff through red buff coming under. Unfortunately, that ward won't cover that path, but should have it. Like a missing call. You'll know if you don't see them on this ward that they're coming around the long way, and just be a little careful. Also, another word that I did forget, apologies, is the ward in mid lane. So this ward right here, people put, you might see it in competitive if you watch SPL on twitch.tv/smitegame, or if you watch any mid lane streamer, they place a ward right here. Now what does this ward do, right? So it covers in any rotation that's coming in to mid lane, okay? Also, it shows anybody coming out from mid lane, okay? So if the mid laner is going to red buff, gets that general timer. If the mid laner is going to their mid harpies, that gets their general timer. Going to these, or like anything like that. Usually with this ward, you want a pressure ward somewhere so you can see where they go from that. Gives you a general timer on what to do around, you know, Gold Fury or Oracles, or what side the pressure and stuff like that. So this ward, good, gives you a general timer of when people get back, or it actually catches people backing. So this is actually really important. Some people like to back around here, or like we call it a greedy back right here, here, or here. So these are greedy backs, and what it does is it catches that. So now with that person backed, right, takes some time to get back into mid lane. Okay, so now I'm already back here, right? I know that the person back. So what I can do as a mid laner, or my jungler, or my support, can go ahead, go to the back camps, pressure their back camps, okay? Or even red buff, get red buff timer, deep wards, etc. So basically what this one ward sets up, right? So this ward sets up, this ward sets up a aggro ward or back camps and ward up here. Also the ward that we talked about up here, so in between towers, I'll go show you. So this ward right here, that ward can set up for this ward right here. And this ward, sick ward to have. You have that ward in mid lane on the map, as you can see. This ward off of the backing animation, or like, let's say 2 people going to back camps, for example, this now creates pressure to get a ward up here. And, you know, maybe a ward on backs with your support or something like that. But basically, that is the general consensus of what mid lane wards can do and why they're so important in mid, and using your pressure and your matchup to your advantage on what to ward and stuff like that. If you guys did enjoy the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you guys liked it. I can go more in depth on certain wards and show actual gameplay footage of it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.